Pesh Sagafi, Liberty Home Mortgage. And what am I talking about today? Soft credit pulls versus hard credit pulls. What's the difference and which one should you go with? So this is sort of a newer thing in my industry, okay? There's something called a soft pull and there's something called a hard pull. This is what a soft pull is. I'm gonna pull your credit. I'm going to see a credit score, not necessarily the right credit score, and I'm gonna see your credit history. So I can visually see it in front of me. That's what it is. A soft credit pull doesn't have an effect on your score, okay? If you are not serious about buying, if you just want to have a conversation or something like that, maybe in those cases a soft pull is good. Let me tell you the downsides to a soft credit pull. Number one downside, the score is not always identical to a hard pull. So when I pull your credit for a pre-approval, that means let's rock and roll and see if we can get this thing done. The credit score on a soft pull is not always the same as a hard pull. What's the big deal? Now you might be saying, well, how big of a difference could there be? I don't know, okay? But what I could tell you something, let me tell you something I do know. I had a purchase a few years ago, this one was, the customer had a 675 credit score. He had to go conventional. Conventional loans are easier on people if they've had a foreclosure in their past than FHA loans are. Because of his credit history, we had to go conventional. He didn't qualify FHA. His credit score was 675. I could not get him approved for the loan. So we had to do a rescore and raise his score. So there were certain things I had to whip out my magic wand and look at his credit and see what could we do that could immediately affect the score. How can we affect this score to make it immediately go higher? Because he needed that loan right then and there. He couldn't wait 1 or 2 or 10 years. We had him paid on his credit card. We ran what was called a rapid rescore, rescored him. He went from 675 to 679. 4 stinking rotten points. And if you want to know something, he bought that house. 4 points was the difference between denied and approved. So when a soft credit pull, those scores are not always accurate. If that thing's off by even 4 points, I'm going to tell you this one, that could be the difference between approved or denied. So the good news, it doesn't hurt your credit score when you get a soft pull. Bad news is you're not really going to know if you qualify for a loan or not. Let's talk about a hard credit pull. Here's the downside. It does adversely affect your score. Your score goes down from what the Fair Isaac Corporation says, 2 to 5 points, okay? That's bad. Let me tell you the good news. With a hard pull, those are the scores we use. The credit is good for 120 days. As long as we pull them on that day, they're done. For 120 days, I'm not re-pulling the credit. Another thing is, we can run it through the automated underwriting system. There's a computer program, they're called automated underwriting systems, that we have to run your information through to see if you get approved. We can take those the hard credit pull and run it through that system. That must be done in order to see if you can get a loan. It must be done. That's a non-negotiable. So we can do that. With a soft pull, we cannot do that. A soft pull, scores are not always correct. A soft pull can't run through the automated underwriting system. Soft pull, I can't give you a definitive yes or no. By the way, the interest rate that I quote to you, it's based on your scores, okay? If those scores are not correct and I quote you a rate, what do you think is going to happen after we hard pull the credit? We see the scores then, and those are the scores that are used, and those scores are different. I've got news for you. On a conventional loan, for example, there is a difference between the interest rate and the cost of the rate between having a 699 and a 700, between having a 719 and a 720, a 739 and a 740. That 1 point difference is a difference in interest rate. It's a difference in the fees. It's a difference in the payment. It's a difference in everything, okay? So you tell me how great a soft credit pull is. Everyone's so all up in arms with, it's gonna hurt my credit. If you're calling a bank or a mortgage lender and saying, can I get a loan? My question to you is this. Do you want me to be accurate with what I tell you? Do you want me to be accurate with the interest rate? Do you want me to be accurate with the fees? Think about this. Do you want me to be accurate with, yes, you're getting the loan, or no, you're not? If you answered yes to any of those, the hard pull is the only way you can go. If you sit here and say, I'm not really worried about the interest rate. I'm not really worried about qualifying. I'm not really worried about the fees. Well, then what the hell are you calling? I mean, why even do anything? Why give me your social? Don't even give me your social security number, for God's sakes. Let's just have a conversation. Hesh, I think my credit score is in the 600s. I got no money to work with and I don't have a job. I don't need to soft pull your credit for anything. So when it comes to a soft pull versus a hard pull, the only benefit to a soft pull is it doesn't affect your score. The downside to the soft pull is many. Can't be accurate with the rate, fees, the payment, the loan type, yes or no you qualify, 1,000 different things. So if you're serious about this and you want to see if you can buy a house, you do a hard pull. Anything else, I don't recommend at all. Nonetheless, keep following my videos, check these out, follow everything I say because I'm right about every damn thing there is. If you need a loan, I'd lend in 45 states. We'll talk later. Thanks so much.